Hi, welcome to Simple Shifts Conversations to Fuel the Body, Mind, and Soul. I am Martha McKinnon from the blog Simple Nourished Living, and with me is my brother and partner, Peter Morrison.
Hello, Martha McKinnon.
Hello, Peter Morrison. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing really well. So today we're going to talk about one of Martha's rules for weight loss or weight management. But before we dive into that,
That's a
let's,
teaser.
is that a teaser? I'm
Uh-huh.
practicing. I'm practicing being being a teaser. Well, what are you happy about? What are you excited about?
We're having beautiful weather. I'm playing a lot of pickleball, and as we've touched on in several episodes in the past, there's a new, not a new, but a tournament coming up in a couple weeks. By the time this gets out, it'll be long gone in the past, but I found a new partner to play with, and I've actually entered both singles and doubles this time. So,
That's great.
gonna shake things up and try something new in the pickleball
Well,
world.
good for you. Congratulations. That's great. So you're continuing
Thank
to
you.
thrive on pickleball. That's good. And life is
Mm-hmm.
somehow easier when weather's nice. It's
For sure.
interesting. Everything's a little easier when the sun is shining and the temperatures are
Mm-hmm.
nice. Well, good. I'm happy for you. And I look forward to hearing about how the tournament goes for you. And either way, you'll have
Thank you.
fun, right?
Yeah, and this is a bigger tournament, and they call it's a golden ticket tournament. So that means every year there's a big national tournament. And this year it happens to be in San Diego, which is about an hour from where I live.
Mm-hmm.
And the winner of each division gets an automatic entry into the national tournament. I don't know normally what it takes to qualify for it, but this is kind of a shortcut way to have a chance to play in that tournament. So
Well, good for you. Good.
yeah, so and actually it's a tournament where there'll be pros playing at it. I mean, not with us, but like you're sort of playing at the same tournament that they are, so it'll be interesting. I've never done that before. I've only done smaller local, city type tournaments. So
So new experiences.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
new experiences are so important, especially, I don't want to all
Mm.
through life, but I think especially as we age, because I think the longer that we live, the more we can get stuck in our habits and our world can become smaller. So kudos to you for continuing to expand and learn and grow and try new things. I think life is magical and so much more enjoyable when we just continue to explore.
Yeah, it's kind of scary on one hand, like going in, because it's scary just from well, I've never done this before. And you kind of don't know. I mean, you kind of know what to expect, but you don't know exactly what to expect. And there's something scary yet exciting about that. And it never, like most things I worry about, either never materialize or aren't anywhere near the level of severity that I've sort of got myself all riled up about. So, um, yeah, so I'm anxious in a good, excited kind of way about it. But I do think new things and new experiences are definitely the way to go.
Yeah, they're growth
Mm.
creating.
Hmm.
And growth, I mean, growth is good. I just feel like we have to keep learning and exploring. And I think I'm coming to understand that I know so much less than I thought I did. And every day I know less and less. And that's a good thing. Because a lot of those, I don't know that a lot of the spiritual teachings, that Eastern, spiritual spirituality, Zen, all this kind of stuff will talk about like showing up empty, this whole concept of uh, empty cup. You can't really learn what you think you already know. And the more I let go of what I think I know and just show up,
Mm.
and just kind of and just learn and let the experience unfold, the more I realize I don't know, but I thought I knew, and it just becomes
Mm,
fun to
mm,
realize that I'm not, and I'm not nearly as smart as I thought I was. I don't know nearly as much as I thought I did. There's so much more to know, there's so much more to explore, and it's okay. It's, it's I and and it makes life fun because you do continue to learn and you have experiences that you wouldn't have otherwise. If you think you already know the answer, um, you're losing out in so many ways
mm.
on what you could experience. So good for you. I'm happy for you. So today, one of Martha's rules, and I've come from all my rules again from life experience and discovering things that didn't work. And so, one of my strong rules or suggestions for anybody trying to lose weight is to not do anything to lose weight that you're not willing to continue to do to keep it off. Because a lot of years of trial and error helped me to understand that, losing weight and maintaining weight are not that different. And when you think that they are different and you think that there's some one magic path to lose the weight that then's very
Mhm.
different from what it's going to take to maintain the weight, that's where you end up in this vicious cycle of trying extreme things and having them not work over and over, like the yo-yoing or the just going round and round in circles and just not making any sustainable progress. And And so once you realize that, and once you realize that the path to lasting change is to carve out and figure out for yourself a lifestyle that you can live with over the long term, it gets so much easier because so many of us for so long get stuck in believing that, oh, I'm just going to do this to lose the weight. And we get really extreme with ourselves. I'm never like, what are some of the things I've told myself? I'm never going to eat, I'm giving up sugar forever. Or, going on a very extreme, like a liquid, how many people, Oprah was this classic example, right? Of she went on the liquid diet and she walked out on stage having lost all this weight and she had the wagon with, an approximation, a representation of all the weight, she had lost. But again, she did it in a way, and many of us have done it in a way that wasn't sustainable. So when you go back to your everyday life, and you start then engaging in the habits that got you to where you were in the first place, you're now really back. You haven't made any lasting forward progress. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes total sense because I think at my heaviest, which was um, when I left the Navy, surprisingly enough, I was young, I was 22, maybe just about to turn 22. I was weighed at my heaviest, and I think that was due to obviously my lifestyle, not a lot of moving, probably more alcohol consumption than I needed, and a lot of fast food. But when I sort of wanted to lose weight and started reading about this diet plan or that diet plan, it seemed like every book or every program required their own special foods, and they wanted you to clean out your pantry and clean out your refrigerator, and then had this super long list of, special foods and supplements and stuff I had to go buy. And it had a very eat this at 6 a.m. and eat this at 10 a.m. And there's an excitement. I mean, there's no doubt. It's like, oh my goodness, I finally found whatever it is, that resonates with you. Oh, I'm finally gonna do it. And day one might be exciting or it might be, whoa, this is gonna be harder than I thought. And then day two, day three, day four, and all of a sudden you're not. I think gradually for me, I can only speak for myself. I'd start slipping and it's like, well, I'll do that at dinner or I'll do that at breakfast, but then I'm gonna have, I'll figure out lunch, and then all of a sudden that just sort of fades away, and you're sort of, or I would find myself back to maybe what I was doing before. So I totally think it makes sense, because to try to change your whole way of living in the name of losing weight, or managing your weight, I think it just, for me, it never worked, because my way of living was different from what I had to do to get the result that I was looking for. So,
Yeah, and I've had the same experience, and I think that that's why when you go to the diet section of any bookstore, I mean, you've got hundreds of different approaches. They all worked for somebody. Uh,
and they will work
and
if
they
you
will
stick to
work if
it.
you could do them,
If
but
you,
the truth is that they're just so counter to our lives. And so
right.
you really have to construct something that will work for you and your likes and your dislikes and your lifestyle, um and to try to just fit yourself into somebody else's plan that's really super uber extreme doesn't work. And I think what happens too, so in addition to the fact that it doesn't work, I think we end up in this sort of it actually is almost like a boomerang effect that actually is worse. So we try to do something very, very extreme. We feel very, very deprived. And then we sort of boomerang back even worse, and we go into this. So we were all in, right, with something very
Hmm.
extreme, but then we give up on it, and we boomerang back to like, forget about it. I'm just going to do whatever I want whenever I want, which isn't the answer either. We need some type of balance and some
Hmm.
type of the guidelines, but it almost makes, it makes it worse, because it's like, oh, forget it. I'm just going to eat whatever I want whenever I want, however much I want. And that's totally counterproductive as well. So you end up in this sort of these extremes that you just keep vacillating back and forth from um and neither extreme works. And so if you'll believe me, and if everybody's out there, just believe it. If you're contemplating doing anything to lose weight, to stop and ask yourself, am I willing to keep doing this forever? And if you're not, then don't do it. Look for something where you're suddenly starting to create sustainable ways of being that can slowly, gradually
Hmm.
move you to the place you want to be. And I think it's just so much more powerful. And a lot of people say, well, it's not making any shift, but it does. I mean, because you're doing something that will last, as opposed to just boomeranging, back and forth between extremes. So do you have
Yeah, and it might be slow. You're not going to wake up and necessarily see a change, but if you stick with it, and I think over time you will gradually see a change, and then I think it's easier, for me it's easier to find the motivation when you see a little change,
Yeah, you see
or
the
when
little
I see
change.
a little change.
Right. And
And I think for me, I'm now 55, about to be 56 soon, and I've never found it easier to maintain my weight. Actually, I could probably, people have told me I feel good, but people have told me I could probably gain a few pounds. But I don't know, I've sort of settled into this way of being that, I mean, it's not that it's effortless, but it's easy.
what do you think makes it easy?
I think I'm just doing things that I love. I'm playing a lot of pickleball, so I'm very active. I my sister and brother-in-law recently gave me an old bicycle, and I've taken that out a few times, and I'll use it periodically. We've got some nice bike trails, but I'm not a biker, so going out and buying this uber expensive bike and all this equipment to like lose weight biking. Well, that's not something that would work for me. I like walking. We walk pretty much every day.
Right.
I used to run, but I mean, distance running. I'm not really a runner. So I think the fact that I found like an aerobic type activity that's very social, I'm meeting a lot of people. Um, just all of that sort of coming together in an active, it gets me outside, it gets me out, it gets me meeting people, it gets me to pickleball tournaments. I mean, all these things. Um, and then there's something when I'm like super active, I want to Mm. I wanna make better meal choices because I know I'm playing again tomorrow. I mean, pretty much every day. So, fish and chips for dinner or a big, a burger and fries is less appealing to me, um, because I wanna be ready for the next time that I'm playing. So, for me, that's different from I really wanna have the fish and chips for lunch, but you sort of say, "Well, I can't do that because it's not in my diet plan," is for me is a very different mindset than, "No, I'd really like to have that, but I'm choosing not to. I'd rather have this." Um, and
So
I'll eat, we'll go to lunch, we'll have pizza, but, we'll split a salad and I'll have a piece of pizza with lunch and we'll bring the rest home, or I don't know.
well, I think what you hit on it. I mean, you said it's easy, but I think what I'm also hearing is that it's enjoyable and it's coming from a place of what you want to do, and it's coming from a place of like self-love versus
Mhm.
self-punishment. And that's the mindset shift that we can go on and have. I can think of several more topics to explore, coming away from this, but it's like the same action done for different reasons feels very different.
Mhm.
When you're when
Mhm.
you're l- when you're making a choice because you know you're going to feel good and it's going to empower you to play better out on the pickleball court versus feeling as though I have to because I'm hating the way I feel in my clothes. It's just same action, but very different results because of your mind and because of your thinking. So you've tapped
Mm.
on something very powerful. So the more we can tap into self-acceptance and self-love and come up with things that are easy and enjoyable because we really want to do them because we care about ourselves, versus trying to like beat ourselves up and force ourselves and punish ourselves because we're not liking ourselves right now. Um, it's just diametrically opposed. And so you're
Mm.
tapping into this place of joy and happiness um and just like taking care of yourself and nourishing yourself in ways that are gonna uh feed your lifestyle and feed what you're wanting to accomplish. So that's what makes it easy because
Mhm.
you're doing what you want to do. That's what it comes down to.
Right.
You're really
Which
doing
unfortunate.
what you wanna do, and what you're wanting to do is take care of yourself, and if that's the place that
Mhm.
we could all get to, little by little, step by step, that's where the real power
Mm.
is, and that's where the real insight happens, and I think it does sometimes start with just accepting, where you are and really giving consideration to what it is you you really, really want and trying to figure out how you can give yourself what you really, really want because it's gonna be so much more positive. So
And that makes me think of, mindless eating, here it comes again, but
mhm.
when you talk about not doing anything that you're not willing to do forever or to keep the weight off, it's, if you still wanna drink soda, well, drink soda, but drink a little less soda. Or, if you still want to have potato chips with your sandwich at lunch, well, maybe have half the amount of potato chips. Because I think what I learned from rereading Mindless Eating is all it takes is a small reduction in calories every day to see results over the long term. So you really don't have to go on some special eating plan. You just need a small, eat a little less in a way that you're not even gonna, it's not like you're gonna even notice
Yeah.
from a calorie perspective.
And everything works better that way because, like we said, when you
Hmm.
try to deprive yourself, so much works against you when you try to be extreme, right? Your body works
Hmm.
against you, your mind works against you, because your body wants to survive. Your body doesn't know what's happening, and so when you try to do this extreme stuff and you try to go radical, you just end up kind of shooting yourself in the foot because everything is working against you, your environment, your mind, your body, and it's just not sustainable. And that's why just I'm hoping people will just pause and really
Hmm.
appreciate what I'm saying here and save themselves, buying the book and buying the program and buying all the expensive, special foods and things that you don't like and you don't even know how to really work with them and subjecting yourself to such extreme regimentation that's just not going to get you where you
Hmm.
want to be in the long run. So thank you
Yeah,
for
you
that.
can essentially accomplish your goals with your same, I'd say with your same shopping habits and with your same meal preparation if you just make small
Yep.
incremental changes that you can easily incorporate.
Yep. And then slowly over time, I mean, you will start to see shifts that you didn't expect, but just let them happen gradually and naturally in a way that
Mhm.
feels easy and enjoyable and not overwhelming. Because once you overwhelm yourself, um, that's when it just gets really hard to keep it going. So thank you for that share. I think that was very helpful. I'm glad that you were able to have the same experience, you know, that
Yeah,
I
and like
had.
I said, this just happened. I mean, I wasn't necessarily searching for a way to manage my weight. I was looking for I was looking for a more of a social change that just sort of snowballed into these other things.
And that's what's exciting too. It's like what we talked about when you keep opening yourself up to new experiences, when you realize that you don't know, but you think you know, and you stay open and you try new things, life just is you never know where it's going to lead you. And
Mm.
so you struggled and searched for a long time for the lasting path, right? The lasting way to lose the weight that you felt was a struggle, having no idea that pickleball was going to be it, but it turned out to be it. And that's sort of the magic of life. It's often that
Mm.
what you're seeking is going to turn up in a totally unexpected way if you just stay open to experimenting and trying new things. Life gets
Love
fun.
it. Great advice.
Yeah.
Great advice.
Well, thank you. This has been fun.
Yes, and we'd love your support, your help. If you can share this video with anybody you might think would find it helpful, please like, please subscribe. We'd appreciate your support. And we'll be back again soon.
All right. Have a great day and take care, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.